General Motors have a vehicle called the Buick E5. Now, Buick historically was one of the biggest car manufacturers and sellers of cars in China. This is where a huge amount of General Motors profits have come from until, well, this year. This year, General Motors' position in China as one of the biggest players has suddenly collapsed. Now, General Motors are trying to counteract this situation with cheap electric cars. The Buick E5 is actually a pretty good EV. It uses the Ultium platform. It's got a lot of range. The price is incredible. I mean, if they sold them at this price in the United States, they'd outsell Tesla, but they're not really selling very well in China. The Chinese don't trust General Motors, and they don't see them as an electric car brand. So General Motors have gone and slashed the price. E5, which is basically a new EV, now starts at a staggeringly low price. So low that I just can't understand how they can possibly be making any profit. That's assuming they are. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have you. Welcome back, everyone else. The Buick E5 has had its price slashed to $23,200 US. Now, technically, General Motors have removed a bunch of features from the car and reduced the price. But I mean, realistically, the reason this has happened is because sales have not been what they'd hoped they'd be. Say General Motors or Chinese government, Alibaba and General Motors together, I mean, that's what SAIC is, have officially launched the Buick E5 Pioneer Edition in China. It's a 5-seat electric SUV. It's actually, nearly as big as a Tesla Model Y. It's a pretty good sized car, and it comes at a price now of $23,000 US. You're probably thinking, oh, well, there must be something wrong with it. It's got bad range. But no, it's a good car. Can't understand how it can be this cheap. In fact, it's not nearly as big as a Model Y. It's bigger. It's 4.9 meters long, 1,905 millimeters wide, so 1.9 millimeters wide, and 1,681 millimeters high. It's got a wheelbase of 2,954 millimeters, nearly a 3-meter wheelbase. This is a pretty big car, and therefore it is unbelievably cheap. Buick says it has rear leg room that exceeds 1 meter, giving us very, very spacious interior. I mean, you'd feel like you feel like you're in a really big car in the back of this vehicle. It's also got a split headlight configuration and displays the new Buick logo. Its side features a sleek hidden door handle, while the rear showcases a through type taillight. And it's actually got a pretty big, decent sized battery and pretty good range. But aside from that, it's got the new generation VCO cockpit. So it's actually got better software and infotainment than most of the cars General Motors currently sell. The cockpit has a 30-inch integrated curved screen. I mean, in a car costing $23,000, you get a 30-inch curved screen. I can't understand it. It's amazing. The standard Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 chip powers the very impressive infotainment system. Moreover, the car supports modern features like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got mobile phone remote control. You can control the car from your phone. It's got an in-vehicle navigation system. Voice assistant. Doesn't speak English, so unfortunately. In terms of safety and convenience, the vehicle is equipped with driving functions such as full speed adaptive cruise control, which is called FSRACC, intelligent lane centering assist, which is called HOLCA, and forward collision warning called FCA. What about power? Well, it's got a decent amount of power. For example, it's got more power than a BYD Atto 3. It's got 180 kilowatt and 330 newton meters of torque. Plenty of power and torque for this size car. Acceleration is not exactly rocket-like, but it's decent. 7.6 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 62 miles an hour. The battery pack. It's a lithium ternary battery. I believe it's a nickel manganese cobalt battery pack, 68.4 kilowatt hours in total usable size, which gives it a range of 545 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. So EPA range is probably approximately 290 miles. So probably around 500 kilometers of range. Pretty good range, really. For charging, It charges at a decent speed. You can charge the battery, they say, from 30 to 80% in around 28 minutes on the right charges. Don't know what those are. They don't say. Anyway, Car News China says that the Buick E5 Pioneer Edition, which is this new cheap version, showcases a power consumption of 13.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, meaning it's incredibly efficient if those claims are in fact true. Don't know if they are. So, what else do we know? Range of that base model for $23,000 is 545 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. Now, if you want to get more features, more of a luxury experience, you get things like heated seats, heated steering wheel, electric seats, panoramic sunroof. You can pay an extra $5,000, $28,500 for the standard range. Now, if you want to get the long range vehicle that has 620 kilometers of range, you pay an extra $2,000. However, if you want to get the standard range Enjoy model, don't know why it's called Enjoy, it's something enjoyable, more enjoyable for some reason, with the full luxury suite of features, then you're going to pay $30,900 US. Still sounds ridiculously cheap. Now, if you want to get the long range Enjoy model, then that one is going to give you 620 kilometers of CLTC range for only $32,800. However, if you want four-wheel drive, so a motor at the front and at the rear, giving you a total output power of 211 kilowatt and 603 kilometers of range, you're looking at $38,000 US. At those kind of prices, these cars would sell in Europe, Australia, and North America. They would sell like crazy. Anyway, Buick have basically come out with this car, right? And they've reduced the price by $5,500 by removing a few features. They've removed the sunroof, the heated steering wheel. It does get a steering wheel, it's just not heated. Electric seat adjustment, mobile phone, wireless charging, heated front seats, and electric folding functions for the rear view mirror. So, I mean, in my opinion, none of those are really necessary. You're looking at an EV with 500 kilometers of range, or nearly 300 miles, $23,000. That's bigger than a Tesla Model Y, and looks good. General Motors must be making a loss, or this is just an amazing car and they should sell it everywhere. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.